This week, I watched the Meyerowitz Stories new and selected on Netflix. I was pretty blown away by it. I loved its unique structure, complex characters, and compelling writing. It reinforced my notion that Ben Stiller is the greatest person alive, and it contains great performances from Dustin Hoffman, and Emma Thompson. But more than anything, the movie reminded me that Adam Sandler can be good.
Like really good.
When he wants to be. What comes to mind when you hear the words Adam Sandler? Is it the Grown Ups franchise? Pixels? The Ridiculous Six? Jack and Jill? I couldn't fault you for thinking of any of those projects. Lately, the films that Sandler has been putting out are they're no good. His most recent work, excluding Meyerowitz, are 3 Netflix exclusive movies that range from meh to good lord. Because of his recent outings, he's not really taken seriously by the majority of people, and he's normally not considered a very talented performer. Well, I'm here to break the news today that Adam Sandler is a force to be reckoned with. Sometimes. Let me first state that I am no defender of his projects like The Ridiculous Six or Blended. I find no enjoyment in these, and Sandler is quite noticeably phoning it in. And that's the thing, he's not giving it his all. When he really commits to a role and, tries, he can turn in actually great performances. Reign Over Me, a movie I personally love, was released in 2007. It's about a dentist played by Don Cheadle reuniting with an old friend played by Sandler who lost his family in 9/11. Sandler gives an incredible performance, spending most of the movie in a shut-down state of PTSD. But there's one scene that contains a monologue, where he lets everything out in a showcase of raw emotion and sorrow. It's insanely good, and might be the best acting he's ever done. In Blended, released in 2014, Adam Sandler plays Jim, who gets set up on a blind date on a trip with his ex-wife, and hilarity ensues. Notice the difference? But this doesn't mean that Sandler's only good in dramatic roles. A lot of his early comedy work is fantastic. Movies like The Waterboy, Anger Management, Happy Gilmore, The Wedding Singer, 50 First Dates, and even Bedtime Stories provide fun and humor. Granted, some of these offer very dumb fun, but even when the comedy of these is dumb, it never feels mind-numbingly stupid like the majority of his newer comedic endeavors. Not to mention his work on Saturday Night Live, although now I guess I've mentioned it. I'll never forget the comedy genius of skits like the Hanukkah song, Opera Man, or perhaps my favorite from his time at SNL, Pepper Boy.
You did it, Carlo. You did it. How do you feel? Like I can fly, senor. On the wings made of a pepper.
Just because they're comedic doesn't mean that Sandler's not doing his best. Sandler puts his all into every role I just mentioned. You can tell he's doing what he loves to do and having a blast doing it. Unlike...
You know what'll cheer you up? A cheese ball.
Yeah.
Huh? Come on, suck one up.
So the natural next question is, why doesn't Sandler put in an effort most of the time? The best answer I could find is that not trying is easy, and it's safe. Although the majority of his newer movies were ripped to shreds by critics, they all managed to make a pretty good box office return. They feature Sandler in an empty shell of his former comedy style, but people usually still went out to see them, so why go the extra mile? Seeing Sandler in the Meyerowitz Stories gave me an indescribable amount of hope. I've always loved Sandler despite the often disappointing projects, and to see him give a really great performance again made me happy beyond belief. His performance in Meyerowitz is subtle, understated, and real. It really is a fantastic performance and a fantastic movie. I hope that the success of this movie reignites the fire that has always been, and I believe always will be, in Adam Sandler. If you liked that video and want to see a video like it every Tuesday, hit subscribe to see a video like the one you just watched every Tuesday. Like and share it with any friends you have that you think would like it. And if you haven't seen some of the good Adam Sandler stuff I mentioned, check that out for sure. Just keep away from the the other stuff I mentioned. I mean, it's up to you, but